With Strive Slayer on the way, it's time to talk about one of the characters that has and probably will have a good matchup against him. One of the few, Potemkin.
Oh my god, that works! Let's go! Oh, he's not dead.
Though Potemkin is considered low tier, it doesn't really matter when you have all the tricks up your heat-knuckled sleeve.
Let's go!
And yes, we'll get to that robbery soon, but first, we gotta talk about what makes Pot, Pot. No, I'm not here to take your order, but since Potemkin is armor-clad in Faith, I'll be armor-clad in his suit alongside with him. Would this have been a more appropriate outfit for Strive Slayer when I make a video about him inevitably? Yes. Did I think about that until after I put on the suit? So let's get this out of the way. Potemkin has what's known as big body syndrome, meaning there's some combos that just work against him that don't on anybody else. Whether he's standing, crouching, or just trying to put a poke out, he's going to get hit more often and more easily. But being an absolute unit can cause others to, at best, reroute their combos to do worse damage, or just straight up drop their combo because they're unfamiliar, because of the sickness for your thickness. Now before we get to your buttons, let's show you how your fridge-shaped body can be more evasive than you might think. Since backdash is an integral part of his kit, let's show it off first just so you know it's always available in conjunction with the upcoming attacks. Alright, it gets you out of Oki, projectiles, command grabs, and even active moves like Riot Stamp. With 20 frames of invuln, the exact amount that Slayer has on his backdash. Okay, but just like imagine if like backdash cancel Pop Buster was a thing. Oh wait, it kind of exists. You're going to use those iframes to juke DPs, even dragon install DPs, and punish accordingly. Oh, you'll get used to baiting supers too, and hit him with that patented buster once you get your hands on him. Make sure you time it before, like here. Since Dot only has 8 active frames, you have more than double the iframes to actually work with here. Though it is very abusable, you're still off the ground, so it can be air thrown.
What? What just happened?
With that said, it's amazing, and you should always use it. Now, onto the buttons. 5P is your fastest button, as most are, and is great to use after an IB or a backdash. Hey, backdash, good to see you. You remember backdash, right? 5P is also integral for tick throw, since it is +1 on block. And right after that bust, 5P can be used as a pickup in the corner. With 5 frames of startup, it's a good panic button if you want to mash and you're not sure if you can or not. Did I mention you could whiff cancel it? It doesn't hit crouch like Leo, but it sure can anti-air. When we get to the approaching tools, it's going to be invaluable for quick punishes. Just make sure you hit them when you go for the punish.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, as a slow, burly grappler, you're going to get Oki to death, so make sure to call out their fake pressure, and then end it with a heat knuckle to get them off you. For some reason, I found it works real well with Mega Fist forward and back, since most people just try to evade it. Being a fast anti-air, expect the clashing. You either go for close slash or another 5P right after. Even from other clashing buttons, it's a good look. Some longtime fans might recognize the situation, as 5P mash off seems to be like a pot initiation or something, like a ritual. Also, 5P is your only pickup option after a regular hit 6P if they jump in deep enough. This is because 6P isn't jump or special cancelable in this game. Fun fact, after Pop Buster, you don't actually have to be in the corner to pick up with 5P on certain characters, like Coom. Reminds me of Plus R with Far Slash into 2S, my beloved.
Better kill me. Oh! Let's go.
Only when I need her.
Alright, let's bring that 5P down low. Yeah, 2P may look like a patient man's button, baiting bursts and buttons, but it's a round start fiend. This thing is huge for a 6-frame button when you mash out of pressure where 5P won't reach. Plus after you can just Gatling into 2K into 2D for a knockdown and your turn back. Or you can just tick throw into Pop Buster since it is 0 on block. Where close slash or 5P won't hit, 2P will reach if you're just outside the corner. Alright, now for 5K, a standing low. Double the startup of 5P, but almost double the active frames. Best on Oki or to catch backdashes with. Getting the meaty timing is key. It'll help you avoid certain supers or clash with them if you're far enough. Try not to Gatling willy-nilly 5K into 2S as there is a gap if they IB. Now for the slightly faster and longer reaching low. If you want a low out of a backdash, 2K is faster than 5K, and just like 5K, can go into close slash. While it's hard to tick throw with it on its own, it's better used with Hammerfall break, which we will get to. Kinda like 5P, you can combo with 2K after a Pop Buster on big bodies like Potemkin. Let's just round up the other lows while we're here, on the ground. 2D is massive, and its range has definitely helped me win games several times. Not to mention the option of OTGing for the game-winning kill after something like a pot buster or a slide head. So in Plus R, you can cancel the 2D into Hammerfall break for better Oki and pressure, where Xrd you can't. You have to wait until after the recovery of 2D. Xrd does make up for this by having a little bit more range that you can actually Hammerfall break with. 2D is invaluable to your mix, paired with a jump or a super jump to mix up the timing for your Oki. Now close slash is your combo starter of choice since it gatlings into 2H for a full air combo, and by itself is jump cancelable, so burst enjoyers beware. Beware of the close slash super jump into close slash on the other side signature move I just made up. It's also the go-to pick after a post bust corner combo, which we will see without a burst interruption Venom later. While it's no Plus R2S, it used the vacuum. It's still a huge backhand you'll want in your kit. With Hammerfall break, it's 0 on block, meaning bust is always on the table. This also makes it spammable for scared opponents or ones that know what it can do. Best of all, on counter hit, they're staggered, so like Venom, I swear to God! Anyway, stagger means you can actually be thrown during the animation, so you can actually combo into Pop Buster from a counter hit 2S. It's not super common, but after the stagger, they're probably either going to be mashing still or not jump in time, so try it. Far Slash is a combo filler that leads to a knockdown at a decent distance, and it's also a stop sign for anyone approaching in the air. The range is great for punishes and heat knuckle pickups at a distance, but don't forget about the hurt box.
Oh my god.
Though it can gatling into 5H, don't expect it to combo in the air. Not sure why I did, but this is because 5H has more startup, but it makes up for it with its more downward hitbox compared to the Fars's more vertical one. Usually my go-to damage-wise after a counter hit 6P. As past me explained, counter hit 6P is the only real way you're going to get a combo, and the best way to go into the air combo for Icpm, Intercontinental Potemkin Missile of course, for a favorable knockdown. Like every good 6P, it has good disjoint and upper body invuln, so kind of prevent Amelia from buzzing around or just straight up fly swatting a Slayer right out of a super. I never get tired of showing clips of 6P in Ryujin, just never. Or Bandit Bringer, since they're both pretty spammable moves. If you can't beat it, just spam it right back at him. As all good boys who say their prayers mid-combat should, this thing praises the heavens by beating Heavenly way up there. Look how it hits Faust Blitz way up here too. I know, right? Sadly, its horizontal range has much to be desired, where the hands are a visual guide to where the hitbox ends, so you can't put your hands on him here, sadly.
No.
Don't rip, don't rip, don't rip. Okay. Oh, this is dangerous. If you truly want to get your hands on, or hands in this case, give 2H a try, as it's a stop sign for all vertical approaches. The go-to for air combos after close slash with Hammerfall break, as previously shown. And counter hit gives you complete untech time, meaning you can whiff things like Mega Fist after and still confirm. And man does this button hurt. It's only rivaled by 6H in damage, but people really don't want to be in a combo with it. Probably the best move to counter answers counter since it hits so directly above you. And it has huge stun value. If it doesn't stun on its own, you can just put the shield out there to seal the deal. We'll get to it, but the shield, even with its many flaws, is a stun machine. If counter hit 2H into shield doesn't stun, which it probably will mid-game, here's what you can do to most characters with fresh health and no stun. For the outliers it doesn't work on, here's a better combo that utilizes Hammerfall break, which you probably should just be using anyway, to get an extra 6H in there. Now, Pa was a different story since he has the most stun resistance in the game, and I had to be a little creative. Here's a sneak peek of some of the cool stuff you can do in the corner as Potemkin. If you're using your astute peepers before, 6H is a huge button that can chunk health bars. Don't whiff it of course, but its range and its damage output are invaluable for this huge hulking boy. Counter hit you get a ground tumble, so take your time doing whatever you want to kill them. Or just go for simple stuff like Mega Fist for respectable damage still. You'll be surprised what combos you can fit 6H into despite its startup. We'll get to it in 5D. It's not f***ing easy.
Oh, that works? What the fuck?
6K, a forward moving shoulder that frame traps from 2S, is plus on Hammerfall break, making it great in all pressure situations. Even if they block all of it, flick after 6K is also a frame trap. Just frame trap city. Hell, even something weird like Trula after 6K can be a valuable option. Don't forget your main goal is still to bust. You can even combo 6K into Hammerfall for a knockdown that's a little bit more damaging than the usual 2D route. Combo 6K into flick for a kill, or the stagger it creates, But that's not what we're here for, Mr. Button Masher Man, I hear you say. We want the loops, brother. Where are the loops? I hear you, brothers. Canceling 6k into Hammerfall break is hard, but it does net you as many wall splats as your skill and hands can handle. As soon as you hit 6k, you have to hit back to charge. You should be able to Hammerfall break when you see this puff of smoke as a visual cue. The animation of lowering the shoulder tends to make bursts whiff for some reason, even mid-screen.
Oh, okay.
And since you're breaking, you should be able to react to bursts a little bit easier as well. It's hard, okay? But you don't have to use it. That wall spot gives you plenty of time to pick up with pretty much anything anyway. I still recommend getting at least 1 or 2 loops in there since the rewards you reap will make you say...
Oh, shit.
5D is a +1 universal overhead that stays out there for a long time, so it can really help when you hit it meaty. It also inexplicably did this in my Zato mini-main series, if you remember.
What the fuck?
Still have no explanation. You'll mostly see this with Trula Oki since you mix it in with 5k to kind of do an unseeable overhead low mix, which can also loop into itself for more. If you got a bad connection, be ready for this jarring animation.
Oh, okay.
Funny rollback. Brief 6H detour, but we will get back to 5D since it's related. For optimal damage, you have to be real good at 6H and 6k Hammerfall break loops. Kind of like in this combo trial here you can try. I won't lie, I suck at 6H loops. I can't even get more than 2 6k loops in a combo, and 6H, forget it. Here's my real reaction for about an hour with pan hands trying this combo.
It's a waste of my f***ing time. What am I doing?
The reason for this detour is, fuck all of that, 5D Touch of Deaths without the need of loops exists. This is a combo from this video here that has a Touch of Death route on every character. Some do involve some loops, but I'm just here to show you that you don't need them to do good damage as Potemkin. They'll definitely help, but don't need them. You've seen me combo into it from 6H Hammerfall break for an air combo, JP. It's also great for tick throws and can even chain from JS to mix up your timing when you land. JK is your only jump cancelable button. You will use it to cancel into jump S or jump H for Icpm knockdowns. JS is a huge double fist that can hit behind and is the button of choice when you want to go for safe jumps or tick throw setups. Counter hit can stagger, so free bust, and even if they IB it, busting's not a bad option either. JH is the patented grappler body splash. You fell for it, fool. Thundercross split attack is the all-purpose move as it can cross up, using it close to the ground to bait DPs or bursts, or to re-land after an RC bust combo. If you remember JH and JK in the Leo video, you'll know that this JH also makes you a thick boy with 2 C's and the Q in the air. But that's not a bad thing, because JH can call out Chip's teleport in the air, or just lead to an accidental air throw since it's the same button. While not the largest throw range in the game, due to his size and perceived immobility, the throw game is actually pretty damn good. While he does have the largest pre-jump frames at 5 compared to everyone else's 3 or 4 frames, 5 frames is plenty enough to blow up fake Oki. I'm just gonna take a seat and watch some of these air throws since they're some of the most satisfying no-you moments in fighting games. Some of these highlights include Johnny 2H since he's off the ground, Chip command throw even though he's invisible, even Dizzy projectile Loki. Maybe an IB before too. It's so nice when you go for a burst throw and you get Thundercross split attack and it hits them and kills them anyway. It's crazy that Gold Burst just whiffed here and gave me another chance to throw it. Man, did I go for a lot of Gold Burst throws this time around. Holy moly. Most can't handle the pop pressure. The ultimate striker throw game, especially here in the corner. If I could Heavenly a Gold Burst, I would. But spoilers, Heavenly and Heat Knuckle are actually air unblockables and not throws, so that's why they don't work. Over 650 clips I had for pot. Of course I'm going to have this many burst throws. Who do you think you are? I am. Alright, the button for what cheeks are made of. I mean dreams. No, he didn't. This is your get me down to earth button after a whiffed Heavenly or a tech out situation with big naturals cushioning your fall. That cushion is not meant for your opponent as you'll either instant overhead them or whiff it into a pop buster.
No, he's crazy.
This disjointed BBL will beat or clash with a lot of moves.
Let's go.
Including supers and the likes of moves like Ryujin. While not easy to get this pickup, counter hit butt does give you a tiny bounce that you can actually convert off of, but the main use is to pull your hurt box up and avoid certain moves and secure your landing safely. I do like to use it as a mix since it is the most gimmicky thing he has. I mean, that's pretty ambiguous. Conditioning is a core part of being a grappler, so hit him with a low after all of those cheeks to the face. I'll take things I thought I'd never say in gear for 200, Alex.
Oh, I couldn't grab the butt.
When you can't clap the cheeks, you'll be clashing the cheeks due to its disjointed nature and its childbearing hips of pot. Faust wanted revenge for that 2H up the ass before.
Oh my god.
Faust Super does the 2 fingers, but like maybe he's not used to To no one's surprise, Soul's technique is to kick your ass from a laid-back position. Anti-air 2D strikes again.
Oh my god.
JDs isn't a bad idea after a clash, but those beefcakes can get seared again if you have Head Chef Soul on your ass.
No. Oh.
It's special time. Canceling Hammerfall with P is Hammerfall break, integral to combos, pressure, and of course, busting. So what better time to talk about it than after all the normals? Graded organizing, and definitely don't follow the order on Dust Loot. So yes, use Hammerfall as a distance confirm or to combo after a 6k, but you only really get away with using it in neutral because of the armor it has. The one hit of armor is all you need to truck through your opponent while only taking half damage, and as good as that sounds, there are times they can just duck right under your attack anyway, somehow. But this interaction, just par for the course. If anything, it encourages you to Hammerfall break more often and bust. If they don't have meter to YRC when they hit your armor, you're pretty much guaranteed to win. DPs can't YRC or PRC when hitting armor, so have at it. Air counter here gives a nice float that you can convert off of. RC if you want to go into Heat Knuckle or an air combo. I got you this time, Venom, you silly baker, you. Funny thing about armor, it tends to autocorrect when it's hit from behind. Frankly, it kind of looks like it's cheating. You can YRC the hit if you want a better pickup, but the counter hit is probably going to be good enough. Depending what they hit you with, you can actually break after the move and then just get a punish straight up. And if you have meter or just less confidence, YRC when you're hit for a quick bust or a punish. Beware of the almighty YRC, because their slowdown can actually eat the input of your YRC, or just like delay yours from coming out.
No,
Same situation for these two clips, but notice the distance here and how I had time to YRC and block. You can YRC during the Hammerfall itself just to assess the situation, block DPs, block bursts, hitting low, instant cheeks to the face, or just my favorite, air throw. And good thing you don't need meter to armor through bursts and punish them. Use that meter for a punish after the burst, I suggest. Just know the break itself doesn't have armor, so you have to be quick to absorb the hit, then break to get enough time for a good punish. Or just wait until they land and then bust them. Beware that any two hits can break through that armor, or just YRC between the hits, if you can.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you can. Neat. Yeah, some you easily can, some you can't. Armor responsibly, I don't know.
No.
Alright, time for the ultimate call-out move. Heat Knuckle, and of course, Heat Extend! It's an anti-air grab that's really an unblockable, so that means it can be blitzed. Great for snatching foes out of anything once their feet leave the ground, and I mean anything. We got pressure resets, DPs, rounded moves that make you airborne like Johnny 2H, and even backdash.
Oh, that got backdash? That was sick!
Revenge for air throwing my backdash, Soul. So I mentioned Heat Knuckle and Extend is basically the same thing because in this game they kinda are. If you don't extend, they'll fly away, they'll tech out, no knockdown. It's always good to extend here. Unless you're in the corner early in a combo, you can actually do 2 Heat Knuckles into an Extend to get more damage. I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda finicky and can get you killed if you mess it up.
No.
If only there was another option. I just can't think of any other to, you know. Heat Knuckle does have other combo options if you RC the very first hit of it, and if you're mid-screen, this is the best way to get Oki. If you've been busting on them, Heat Knuckle's a great way to bait them into jumping. Conditioning is a funny thing in this game, since even if you bust and miss, you can just yoink them still if you have meter. And of course, do it twice if you miss. Do the weird grab state that Heat Knuckle puts your opponent in. During trades, there's some really weird things that could happen.
What the fuck?
In some situations you can pick up, but no one in that situation would let me have it! So you can get hit out of Heat Knuckle, but you can't get hit out of Extend since you're invuln, leading to what the Potemkin Discord calls the Forbidden Technique.
Yes. Let's go!
So yeah, Slide Head into OTG, Icpm into RC, Heat Knuckle should not be a thing. That sentence itself should not be a thing. But the game sort of allows it, so they actually tech out during the extend portion. This can cause them to get reset if they don't FD or blitz. Even if they do get out, they still have to wait, because Pot's just not able to be hit here still. It's a silly move that only works on a few characters, but holy shit is it hilarious. Anyway, Heat Knuckle looks huge, but it can whiff if they're too high, too far, too close, too overhead, too hitting me. I'm no expert, but this whiffs here.
Oh, what?
But this hits in combos, just like 5D. Rollback makes it funnier if you either hit them or whiff it. It just kind of fluctuates between the states for like a frame. And of course, beware of DPs or special invincibility when going for Heat Knuckle.
Wow.
Alright, enough anti-air. Let's go air to ground with Mega Fist. It's a quick double fist.
What?
Jesus. It's a double fist that hops over moves and at the end of the day is still a pretty quick overhead. It does hit the ground. So Faust Super somehow gets beat here. You'll use Mega Fist to get around projectiles and to move forward pretty quickly without needing a charge, kind of like with Hammerfall. See, look, YRC to bust, just like Hammerfall. Empty Mega Fist to bust is a prime technique. YRC to assess the situation, react accordingly. On hit, Mega Fist is negative, but this can just lead to more busting. That is if they don't hit a fast button or throw you since you're very close to them. Other pots may smell blood in the water and may just churn one out on you. And on block, you f***ed up, take the L. Now Mega Fist back. Now this is epic. You won't want to lose ground often as a grappler, but this is basically your get out of jail free card.
Oh my god.
Plus 4 on block, and of course scrapes the ground just like the forward version. Counter hitting them lets you go to town for a knockdown, and I can't tell you how useful this is in the corner, so I'll show you. It's so quick it'll usually avoid the pressure or Oki, especially if you pair with instant blocking or backdashing to wiggle out and just take your turn back. Even the mighty 6P. I may have just gotten lucky here, but that disjoint on the fist definitely helped. Hopeless situations really can just flip into your favor if you know when and how. It just makes Xrd so cool. God, I love this game. Time to be one with the earth and create unblockables with Slide Head. In a spaced block string or from full screen, it's an unblockable. If it's up close, it's a low.
Aha!
But this is an extended knockdown that you can use to set up or get in. When I say full screen, I meant full screen. Both sides here. It's like the floor is lava, but only for 1 frame at a time. If they're good enough, this slow startup can lead to a blitz or a parry. But if you're up close, a parry or other buttons may just whiff since you do have a generous amount of upper body invuln for 16 frames starting on frame 1. Think of it like a 6P, but instead of anti-airing, they'll just whiff and either fall into the unblockable or the low. Like this poor Axel, you can actually trade with that low hitbox. And if they're closer, this belly flop can actually combo on counter hit. Mostly you'll just run into them getting lost in your supple chest and then laying them to rest for another mix. YRC always good. Actually, Slide Head YRC just deletes the unblockable, so it's useless. Because that would be broken if you can YRC an unblockable from full screen. That doesn't mean you can't YRC it if they're jumping around and then just slam dunk them. There are a lot of ways to avoid Slide Head without jumping though. So anything off the ground, backdashing, Johnny or Dizzy and Ram run animations, and for some reason Soul's run stop animation? Why? I know it's your stand-in, but come on, Daisuke. In reality though, you gotta be more concerned about putting your face closer to the opponent. Turns out extending your hurt box and laying into flames isn't ideal.
No, it didn't work! What?
Don't worry, there are setups you can use to guarantee a Slide Head after a knockdown if you just need that final hit. If it wasn't clear, Slide Head itself does no damage, but Icpm follow-up does. Smart players will recognize and burst out when they see it coming. I mean, could you tell I wanted the Slide Head in this situation here? Anyway, Icpm is an air special that can be kind of tricky to combo with. If you're higher than them, it's most likely not going to work, and it could even get you thrown or worse if you miss. Yeah, just right below them is best here. Could just get lucky, they might tech out into it anyway. Got meter. Welcome to unintentional and f***up mix zone. Got meter and want to do intentionally f***up mix? Play Milia. Since we're playing pot and we have the bargain bin mix, RC into a JD to drop the real ballistic missile. Just JD and pick a side and they'll most likely win, especially if they try to challenge it. And at worst, clash. As a grappler you shouldn't, but it's fun to force the situation and still come out on top. They might not expect you to go full monkey as Potemkin, so you'll be surprised at what you'll catch. Beating buttons you have no business beating. Unintentional teleport. Even Icpm isn't a match for Icpm. Despite Icpm being something a Nintendo executive would say at a Smash event, my favorite use of Icpm is actually RCing the startup of it since it actually carries your momentum and carries you across the screen still. I do it after burst after I finally got in, or if they try to like run away. But you really can just pot jump scare them at random, or to actually punish something full screen. You really think you're safe zoning over there? Full screen Pot Buster. Since Heat Knuckle doesn't give you Oki right in front of you, zoom on over there and make the Oki yourself. Slide Head not working? Become the Slide Head you want to see in society. So combo wise, you can use it as a last ditch effort after like a Heat Knuckle to secure the kill, but this barely reached. More practically after Icpm, RC to kind of keep it going. Don't worry, it's not like Slide Head, it's not OTG despite how it looks. But if you do decide to Icpm after a Slide Head, they will get up faster than normal, and you can kind of take advantage of this if they're not expecting it. This guy was DPing afterwards, so I decided to blitz as a mix here.
Oh, got him.
Or you could just use the shield super here to at least be safe or add advantage. Not every slide head should be paired with Icpm, since we might just mess up the tiger knee and miss and get you killed. I could have maybe jumped higher here before doing it, but hard to tell. Enough of the gimmick Icpm stuff, let's talk about a real knockdown situation. Did you get hit? Oh, you didn't even know what I hit you with? Good. Yes, Trula is the Xrd exclusive move, has 39 frames of above knee invuln starting frame 1. That's more than double slide heads. And you saw what I got away with there. With a good read, it's more than capable of stuffing air approaches and preemptive mixes. Takes 25 frames to start up, but covers both sides of pod and goes way higher than it looks. So yeah, IEDs, backwards teleports, flyers, or even delay air dash Oki can get blown up here. Good. Trula on Wake Up, Stuff Slayer 6H.
What?
That and these next examples really showcase the above the knees vibe. And as you can see, you get a full pickup for these gambles paying off. Of course bursts above you are going to whiff, and that cleansing flame is going to let you reset the situation and pick up where you left off. Best part is, it leads back into Trula Oki and start it all over again. And it blocks projectiles, for some reason. Anyway, the Oki is pretty messed up. The flame masks your 5k or 5d to do a legit 50-50, and since the 5d flash is orange, it blends in with those flames. Screw it, do 5k into 5d for double mix. Even if you RC late, those flames will still do their job. For combos, you've already seen the Heat Knuckle into double Trula, but I'll show it again for sick's sake.
Ooh, that's sick.
Trish is also integral for the corner loops due to his massive untech time. The best thing to do against it is probably just blitz since you're point blank and can't really get away.
What a genius.
Also, I didn't get the clip, but I really want to wire see the oil spill here and get the hit, but I ended up just blowing myself up. True silly clown behavior. As a slow hulking tank, Trishula is not the best way to deal with projectiles, so there's a better option. And man and Guild together, there are a lot of projectiles you gotta get around. Flick is the know you to all things between you and your opponent. You gotta know what's considered a projectile and when you can return it back to sender.
That was sick. What the fuck?
But for example here, we got Zwei and Tatami, the run-at-you projectiles, so to speak. Throwing houses and even Jacko's JD, the little explosions. Makes sense. But slide head?
Whoa, okay.
Good to know. Stuck in the corner and think Flick is too slow? Don't worry, the reflect happens 4 frames during startup, so as long as there's a 4 frame gap in the pressure, you can flick and gain that precious space back, and you're invuln during. Fun fact, not only ram balls, but the swords are reflectable as well. Flick projectiles cause a stagger on hit, and we know what to do when that happens.
Oh my god.
You can even hold the flick for easy behind the back reflex, or you could just be awesome and learn the timing of meteors and flick it in between your mashes. The reflection itself is huge and it lets you travel behind it as it goes towards him. Pretty good stun in the air, landing a combo sometimes. Definitely Icpm if you can for that sweet Oki.
Ooh.
Usually Hammerfall behind it and then RC to react to the situation like some kind of neutral player. Some players forget about Flick and then just kind of give you a projectile that you never knew you needed as a grappler. If you could use this to score a knockdown and gain some ground or like just slide head or something, it's done its part. Plus, it beats all other projectiles as it hits, know when to convert from Flick, or just get some pressure if they block it. Or you might just be too far to do anything without any meter. Alright, I admit it, I love playing against Faust. He has so many flickable things, learning all the timings is really fun. I just kind of want to show off here. Knowing when to flick takes practice, but you do have a little startup buffer to work with. I love how flicking the bomb prevented the oil from going up here.
Oh my god.
It's a great feeling to just kind of flick their autopilot spam as you walk towards them menacingly. Be smart how you flick, YRC to kind of get the timing better, or flick twice in quick succession.
What? It still hit me?
Side note on Ino's note, it does still hit you after it explodes. Like other characters' reflex, can't flick supers, but it doesn't mean you can't flick through it if you're close enough. Or just take advantage of the strike invuln you do get when you do flick something, and just let it pass right through you. Same thing can happen with clashes also.
Oh, what?
Flick Reflect is a necessary tool for a grappler, but the actual hit the flick does is just as useful. It's +2 on block, and will wall splat on counter hit, and if they're not in the corner, they'll tumble towards it. The range is compounded with its projectile light hitbox in front of it. That's a gun! Fully charging doesn't increase the damage, but it can be used as a combo since it blows back on hit in the corner. Danger, a new challenger is approaching. Oh, it's just Pot Buster. Oh god, it's Pot Buster! It's been in the video the whole time, but let's look at it specifically. 3 frames startup, incredible range. I call it the gap finder when it comes to block strings or whenever I instant block something. You're going to want to get familiar with your opponent's moves as you can even bust when it's on hit sometimes. And man, do souls love running behind Gunflame and into my loving arms. Most of the time it comes down to them not being aware themselves of the gaps in their strings, especially when you incorporate IBing and FDing and it changes the spacing and frame data constantly. To put it simply, if they're -3, can't cancel into a Gatling or a special or meter, PB. If you're not sure, check frame data of the move on Dust Loop. If you IB it, just remove 2 frames from it, and there's your answer. Uncommon situations are great to know.
I knew it. Oh, that would have been sick.
I missed it here, but here Zato comes out of the ground, but you can actually bust on him as soon as he's below you. You'll be surprised at the dimensions that you can bust through. Most command moves like Jam Sway, Baiken Suzerain, or pretty much any parry type move can feel the wrath of these big meaty claws. And that goes for Blitz as well. Pot is a menace when it comes to Blitz because he can just ignore it if there's Blitz wars going on. 2 wars? No, just PB. This can even lead to easy IK since they're either rejected and can't jump, or blitz back and they just get grabbed. By stealthily jumping in and wire seeing before you land, if they blitz, parry, or do anything slow, you can IK them. So okay, Buster on Oki is usually the goal, but what about on your own Oki? Again, 3 frames to startup, so if they're not off the ground or if they're not meaty and they get snatched, they only have themselves to blame. Even if they're plus, there's a good chance the startup of their next move could just get spirited away because I'm just churning butter on those analog sticks. And this is where the Slayer Pot matchup is probably 40-60 because it's late, under pressure, far slash. They're all pretty risky if you don't have the Pot's respect to not churn. Even the getaway, Danny Step can get yoinky sploinky from range.
What?
We talking about blocking again? Ugh. We bust even when we're hit. Common example was Answer's Force 6P as it's 0 on hit. And Map-a-Hunch, which is negative and requires them to jump or backdash or else they will be PB'd. Other funny ones include Johnny's Coins that has such low hit stun they can just pop Buster in between them if they dash in or put a button out. Pro tip for Ground Viper on any character, burst right here
Oh, let's go.
and you can get a punish on hit. Speaking of challenging insurmountable odds, supers are mostly negative or they have gaps, so you just kind of Yankee splink them when you can.
No, thank you.
Some supers are just not invuln on startup, so you can Yankee split. I'll stop, I promise. But yeah, I did a whole video on grabbing supers on startup, so check that one out. To reiterate, on stagger from Flick, 2S, JS, or even the shield, you can combo right into PB. By the way, here's a showcase of the range the Pup Buster has. Yeah, I think I caught him as soon as the backdash was finished, but still.
Damn, I caught backdash?
Speaking of, I'm sure you've seen it online, but backdash PB is a staple, especially in the corner. 20 frames of invuln, use it. Hey, if they're in kissing distance and they're right in front of your face, they're gonna get kissed. I mean, busted, but grabbed. To reward Pot's grappling nature, when you get a knockdown or a safe jump off of like a 2D Hammerfall, you also get a safe jump off the PB as well. Again, you must condition them, otherwise you can't grab those supple hips. Eventually, with your normals and your conditioning, they'll just stand there in fear. Maybe you can get a Twitter clip and get a few PBs in a row. And if it doesn't kill, RC into a jump H close to the ground for a reland and finish them off, or just bait out their last ditch burst attempt. Cool part is that grabs lock out burst until they are hit with a normal again, so you're in control here. And what better way to introduce the amazingness of YRC Hammerfall into PB than with a Rage Quit? Cross the entire screen and grab them out of Ground Viper startup. Beta DP and Hammerfall YRC just to get a little bit closer. Typical YRC stuff, assess the situation, react. With the added benefit of armoring through one hit while slithering towards them is invaluable as a grappler.
Ooh.
That armor turnaround ain't no joke, Johnny boy. You might even get lucky with the about 2 frames of invulnerability YRC gives you, but they might just use that back on you as well.
Oh no!
If I'm feeling patient, I tend to use it like a parry, even without YRC. Hammerfall brick and 3-frame bust they ass. Alright, how do you beat it then? It's a throw, duh, so just like be off the ground. Backdashes, certain special moves, and normals can accomplish this feat pretty well.
Oh, he's off the ground.
Or they can challenge your PB with a command grab of their own and just have you both whiff.
Okay.
Even the mighty boss can't beat another busting pot.
Oh.
Stare them in the face and kiss them. Pop mirror match really is something when you're sharing the glue jar.
Oh my god.
You've seen the shield already, so how about the follow-up? He didn't either. The follow-up is guaranteed without a counter hit if you're fast enough and close enough. You'll only see it to cash out some damage for a kill or use it in the corner here. And you may have seen when talking about 2H, but the shield does a grip in stun. It's great as a preemptive move to wall out air dashers coming right at you, and you can even act earlier if you YRC it with extra meter. Blocks projectiles and moves very slowly and disappears shortly after. Not only is its range not strive level, but its use as a reversal is pretty limited. Most of the time you'll trade, which, hey, a stun, it's still pretty good. And you do have invincibility, but it just covers the startup frames.
No! What? What the?
Meaning you're most likely going to get hit before the shield actually hits your opponent.
God damn it, really?
Don't worry. To make you feel better, the game shows you what happens after you lose the round. It still hits. See? The sad part, the shield, true to its name, only does 30 damage. That's less than a dead angle attack. But you're not doing it for the damage, you're doing it for the stun and the combo potential. Just gotta be aware of how the opponent will inevitably hop right over the shield or be able to block and react to the super flash. What a way to segue one super into the next super by showing it at the end of this combo. It's the yeah baby is what I've been waiting for move that we all know and love. The infamous, the notorious, the deadly. Okay, the combo was heavily scaled there. Chill. Honestly, I use Heavenly more as a get-out tool compared to the shield since it has 12 frames of startup and actually gets you out. If you don't know, Heavenly is an air unblock when it flies up towards your opponent, delivering death for those who foolishly want to jump to get out of a Pop Buster. In return, they're rewarded 170 damage compared to the 150 a regular Pop Buster would do. And that's not even considering the Hellfire and Burst versions. Heals with Hellfire, heals with Burst. It's a lot of damage. Yes, it's chip. It looks cooler. In the unlikely event, you can kill in one combo. The stun on Heavenly is like 85, which means nothing, but to compare, Shield does 135 stun, which should give you a good idea. Yeah, Burst Super does 170 stun. Not enough to stun in one go, but mid-match it's a pretty good bet. As you've seen, anything off the ground, air dashes, corner oki, aerial specials, even supers, they can get caught.
Oh, let's go.
And the generous iframes are helping significantly catch them. It's crazy how deep they can be in you before you bust them out of the sky. It's basically a homing heat knuckle, so if you drop a combo intentionally or not, it's their game to lose. Common trend, but after a burst in the corner, it's a great spot as any. Gold Burst really puts the patience in me to then unleash the crazy when the time is right. But doing it after a burst, that feels more planned. What if I play by feel?
Oh my god.
Yeah, at best, you're correct. At worst, you just come down with the cheeks.
Wow.
So the invincibility gets you off the ground and your upper body invuln for 12 frames, but that means your feet and cheeks are still vulnerable.
Oh.
So if you have a second to pause the game, either with YRC or... Oh wow! Gamer Time! Thank you, Daisuke! And yeah, Gamer Time gives a good buff to its already crazy damage. As a grappler, your defensive 6Ps are a common clash point, and if they're not already on the way down from a move, they'll most likely get caught here. I mean, I guess you can like heat knuckle, but it might trade. Use those iframes. It's way better.
No, thank you.
One of the skill issues that I know can happen with a lot of people is going for the double core circle forward and you just get slide head instead.
Oh hell no. Get this shit out of here. No, I missed. Heavenly, I'm a bitch.
It's truly heartbreaking to see. Gotta be sure if they cross up, do your inputs intentionally the other way, or just get lucky. I meant to flick and accidentally Heavenly on the other side. And when you have Burst Super, they're closer to death than you think.
Get me ball! Jesus Christ.
Burst Super is a great way to ensure victory when you think you won't be able to win the next neutral interaction.
Dead? Oh, okay.
And remember, grabs into more grabs are unburstable. So Heat Knuckle or PB into Heavenly, lock them out. Pretty sure the only way out of Heavenly in the air is to burst, since of course they can't be unblockable. Not everything that looks like it's in the air can be snatched, plus there's a blind spot right behind you.
What?
It's active for 15 frames on the way up, but sadly that means it doesn't actually reach the top of the screen. This up close with, I don't know, man. Maybe Pot isn't the top tier that no one else thinks he is, and he is on the bottom tier with like the likes of Jack O. But then I think of all the cool, technically demanding combos that Pot has, and all the potentials for stun and 50-50s that he gets when he does get his meaty claws on you, and how I'm definitely not going to Evo with him, and it's okay to have these flaws. Xrd is an old game, but it still has people in the player lobbies at any time I hop on. With rollback, you have the potential of getting good with any character you want as long as you invest the time in them. Sure, I still can't do more than 2 6k loops, but that's why there are other routes for just a little less damage. You need to find the fun in the struggles and the victories that your character experiences. Play Guilty Gear Xrd. It's a good game. Thanks for watching this long, loose guide / funny things I found when mini-maining character series. It's fun to dedicate time away from my main and step into the bigger shoes of another. Next is Abba, but since Strive Slayer's coming out, I don't know how much time that's going to take up learning a whole new game again. Do the YouTube things if you want to see me struggle and strive. If you watch this far, the least you can do is like the video, or just check out some of the other videos I've made. Bring me vindication by liking it. If not, that's okay. I'm a fool. I know nothing. I'll take the role as a silly clown. In the meantime, in 6P, we go in peace. Pieces. Pieces, because I anti-aired you.
Let me out! God damn it, man.
Yeah, alright.
I've been
Oh.
got my ass in this corner this whole set.
Let's go. Oh.
Fuck you!
Sounds fun.